Hello everybody, this is going to be my part 2 of the Earthworm Jim video. Last time I did the unboxing, which you can watch here and then come back and look at this. But this one is just going to be a much quicker video. I split it into 2 parts because the last one was already going on for a long time, and I figured if I was blabbing about my thoughts on the book, you know, it would just take even longer. But in part 1, I did promise that I was going to open these.
Do it.
So I'll kind of do them as I go. I'll do one at the beginning, one, I guess, when I run out of stuff to talk about halfway through, which is usually what happens, and then I'll do one at the very end. So
good.
I'm usually, I wasn't really into collecting cards so much. I don't know all of the etiquette about it and all of that, and I was kind of like, I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, you know, what's actually the point if I don't bother to open it? So I was trying to open that a lot more cleanly, but I guess it wasn't meant to be. Alright, so well, that's cool. I guess they form like a little puzzle piece of the cover if you... Let me put that on camera better. Yeah, that's cool. The backs of them are that. It's artwork. To my understanding, this gentleman is the one who did the artwork for the case covers for the video game. This is a scene from the book, but in the black and white inks. And that's something I love about the book, is how he does like the ink wash tones. So what is this? Oh, okay, so it gives you cheat codes for the game. That's the thing about Earthworm Jim, is I'd heard of it and I'd seen the advertisements in comic books when I was a kid, but I'm not really a video game guy. In fact, I kind of hate video games, and I usually only play them as a social thing with friends. I'm not really into it, so I only knew Earthworm Jim as the thing that would, as the guy that would show up in my comic books. But another cheat code. So that's cool. Like people, this will be really cool for people who actually have the video game and stuff. The little cheat codes and all that. It's neat to see the artwork. Alright, and then what is this? Is this a sticker? Because it's got this on. Yeah, I guess it's a little shiny sticker. That's neat. Alright. So I'll open the next one a little bit later in the video. This is kind of my way to entice you to stick around halfway through. Just like not opening them last time was kind of my way of enticing you to watch part 2. I'm kind of a sneaky bastard like that. Alright, so as far as, I already talked about this last time, but as far as like form factor, this book is a beautiful, high quality book. I actually figured out that because of the making of book, which I'm not going to cover because it has so much video game techno-babble in it, I don't understand anything about coding or anything, so I'm not even going to touch on that one because I'll look like a retard. But apparently the reason this felt weird is because it has a glow-in-the-dark hidden little picture there. But as far as the story goes, it did a good job of explaining everything. I guess it sets up what will happen in the video game, because to my understanding of the video game and how video games used to work back in the day, you just kind of get thrown into it with not really any exposition. So this is kind of, you know, the origin story of how Earthworm Jim came to be, and it sets up the whole world where Princess What's-Her-Name comes from, all that sort of thing. The panel-to-panel storytelling work is good. The dialogue is good. It's amusing. They're all kind of quirky. Like the ones who sound, I don't know, like I guess the most normal human being sounding one is the princess and Farmer Jim. I just like stuff like this where he did this with the ink wash instead of just straight concentrated black ink. You know, he added water and did stuff like this, and then when you put when his colorist, what's her name, because she does a great job with the colors, Catherine Garner, So she comes in and does stuff like this, and that visually this book is great. It's got, like I said, good panel to panel. That's important. The artwork is great. It's expressive. It's fun. It's got good choreography. And it held me all the way through. You know, I was interested. It's a very breakneck pace book. It explains only what is necessary. Like, where'd this snot guy come from that's her pet? Doesn't matter. It's just the context is that it's her pet, because this is a weird alien thing going on. So it only explains what is absolutely necessary to propel the story forward. So if you're a real stickler for, like, background information and in-depth world building, this only, like, alludes to stuff as it is important to the story, which I'm fine with. But you know, stuff like this is what makes this book. Is in the artwork. Is the Psychro hooks the ship and catches it and pulls it, and then you get this shot of the lurching forward because they're being pulled backwards. You know, just the artwork is full of touches like that. I don't have a good setup. And I'm assuming that there's going to be sequels, so it's kind of like this fairy is the one who makes the suit magical to bring Earthworm Jim to life. So I'm assuming she'll come back later. It's just one of those things where I guess because it's magic, that's how he knows how to talk and all of that. It's very humorous. I like the bit where he meets the farmer and he asks the farmer what his name is, and the farmer says, "My name is Jim." So then the farmer asks what his name is, and he says his name is Jim too, because that's the only name he's heard of so far. I don't know, that's the only thing with, like, I guess it's like the cartoon magic is, you know, it's selective what he does and doesn't know, and I don't know how to better phrase it than that. It's just kind of the stuff that he doesn't know is for humorous effect. You know, it's not like he's an infant that doesn't know anything and has to learn along the way. It's just kind of one of these. I really should just script this stuff. Get my thoughts out a lot better that way. I don't know, like he's varyingly intelligent. So it's just one of those things you have to roll with. It's all meant to be played for laughs anyway. So like there's this funny bit where he's telling these guys in the bar stories, because they're all telling each other stories, and he tells them a story that just happened a few pages ago, because he's only been alive for a few pages, you know. The thing that I found weird was that the human beings don't freak out. You know, Farmer Jim is like, I'm trying to get away from you because you're a freak, but he doesn't react surprised. Like the entire book, he has like this just nonchalant expression on his face the entire time, and then no one in the bar seems to take it weird that there's this talking earthworm space creature thing. They kind of set up this idea where, because everyone on her planet is ugly and she's beautiful, she's the ugly one, so then when she walks into the bar, it's like, oh, it's filled with monsters. It's all mostly played for laughs, you know. So the incongruities, I guess you would say, I wasn't taking too seriously. Like there was like, it kind of feels like they're trying to like force a romance thing with the princess and Jim, but then it could also read as he's just interpreting it that way because he's stupid. So, you know, there's a lot of this that perhaps could feel rushed just to have the story beats, but I don't know, if you just take this as a... Man, I'm terrible at at reviewing stuff. On the one hand, it's a lot of story put into one book, and then it has a satisfying conclusion that could stand alone while also leaving room to set up a sequel. But in like this breakneck pace that it has, you have like I feel like, I don't know, maybe it just kind of rushes to have certain beats. I don't know, like, you know, he doesn't really know the dog. And the dog has this thing where it'll freak out and turn into a monster if it gets angry or hurt or something. And then, you know, so obviously that's going to be set up to be channeled for good use later. But I don't know, like the thing that I just kind of felt was that, like, stuff like this, like, I feel like these people haven't known each other long enough to have closer emotions like that. But I don't know. Overall, I had a fun time reading it, and the artwork is good. I like this bit where there are a bunch of lawyers as the evil cat's minions, because he's in hell, and then they have, like, the snowman monster, but then he melts because they're in hell. Oh, excuse me, heck. But I just love the artwork. It's almost like a, I don't know, I probably shouldn't draw comparisons to other artists, it's offensive. I don't know, it kind of reminds me of, like, Jeff Smith, the Bone Guy, if he was crossed with, like, Bruce Timm. Like, stuff like this is cool, like these fight scenes. Yeah. Alright, well, I'm running out of steam here, so I guess now is a good time to open up another one of these. Oh boy. I don't know, man. The more I do this, the more I realize I'm ill-equipped. You gotta prepare this stuff beforehand. Come on. There we go. Oh, that opened a lot cleaner than the last one. Okay, oh, so this is Catherine Garner doing the line work as well as the colors. That's the thing about it, is that, you know, if you're gonna have an inker and a colorist, they gotta be people who are competent at drawing themselves. You know, you can't just have somebody who doesn't know what they're doing. So there's some trivia there. This is, I recognize this from reading the making of book. He had drawn a comic just for conceptual purposes as he was coming up with the idea, and it's, you know, he describes it as much more primitive than what this wound up being. But I don't know, there are actually a couple bits in the original version I thought were a little bit funnier. So it's more facts here. That's a shot from the book. Trivia, another shot from the book. Trivia. Oh, no, this isn't trivia, this is actual stats, like a normal trading card. And, this is another sticker. Cool. Alright, actually I think that, yeah, let me actually go over the two versions of the origin here. So the whole thing is they're trying to get the suit, because the suit is the evil queen designed it to be able to destroy worlds and help her conquest. Suit winds up on Earth, and the bounty hunter goes after it. You know, it's that kind of setup here. So in this one, you know, this celestial being, this magical asteroid riding fairy, I guess, I forget. she thinks that the suit is someone to finally keep her company, because she's traveling around just looking for someone to keep her company, but it's empty. So she gives it magic potion to make it bring something to life if it ever finds something to wear it, and then it lands on Earth, right? And the earthworm crawls into it, and it brings him alive. And then he's going around. You know, he assumes that the farm animals around him are his parents, and blah blah blah. You know, he meets Farmer Jim, and then he blasts a crow with the plasma blaster, then the crow's ghost tells the bounty hunter crow alien what's going on, so he lands on Earth to track him down. So that was how events played out there. But there were a couple of things about the old one that were charming to me. in a more, like, I guess, Looney Tunes way. Let me just go grab the other book real quick. So, let's see. This is interesting stuff with, like, the interviews and everything, but I don't know anything about video games or any of these people, so some of the times it felt like they were writing in ancient Greek. Stuff like this is cool, like the animation principles about how to construct its head. That's always interesting to me. So here's the graphic novel talking about his planning stages. This is the thing that I got the book for, because I like stuff like that. I don't know a video game from a hole in the ground. Where is it? Somewhere. I know there was a bit where he talked about, where he showed what the original thing looked like. Maybe it was earlier in the book. This is the kind of quality you can expect around here, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is. Okay. So it's talking about coming up with the characters. Okay, so the early comic book. So this one has pretty much the same thing. The space fight leads to the suit falling to the ground, but there's no celestial being to bring it to life. And it suggests that the worm already has some sort of sentience. So it brings him to life. There's just something about how he examines this blaster and accidentally shoots a bunch of stuff. And then he leans against the tree and doesn't realize that the suit gives him strength, so he knocks it down by accident. So, I don't know, that would have been neat to re-include back in there, because I like that kind of dopey humor, but yeah, overall definitely worthwhile. Definitely one of the better things to come out of this Indiegogo stuff. And, you know, I love the artwork, and I'm sure people who actually played the video games and or maybe even watched the cartoon that used to be on would really, really appreciate this even more, because it's got all sorts of setup and explanation and what, you know, inside references that I'm sure would be much more appreciated by someone who actually knows this stuff. But yeah, I guess I'll just end it with opening this one. This one here, this one's supposed to have a tattoo foil and lenticular, so I saved it for last here. Come on. I'm gonna try to get better at doing these videos and expressing what I'm talking about, because it's quite needing improvement. Alright, it says need a 3D rendering. Is this the oh, this is the tattoo. Oh, okay. I like this one. Nice little action shot. Shiny. Guess that's the foil one. So it tells you a little bit about the character in it. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, the holographic one. Or lenticular, I guess. Sandwich being thrown in his face. That's funny. And the animator did it. Cool. Alright. So that's my new little card collection, I guess. And, I guess that's my rambling, incoherent, drunken thoughts on the book. Well, not really drunk, but I'll be doing more of these and trying to get better at it as I go along, you know. Like I said, a problem I have is I express my ideas better through writing more than I do through speech. Yeah, awkward silence is always a good way to end the video. I don't even know how to end it. Oh, I know. You know, if he's doing a sequel, I'll definitely be on board, because this is a high quality production and entertaining story, and that's, you know, that's all this stuff has to be. You know? And it's good to have one that's like quirky and funny and actually succeeds in doing it, because you have to genuinely be funny to do funny stuff like this, otherwise it just doesn't work. You know? You wind up with LOL so random humor instead of actual. This is just a nice book, man. I don't know, I'm babbling. Oh, I'll do I haven't done one on Bigfoot Bill yet, so I'll do that next, because these also came with this book also came with a teaser for the sequel to Bigfoot Bill, so I'll do a Bigfoot Bill review next and address the teaser comic that came with it as well. So I guess it'll be part 3, even though it's a prequel. It's starting to turn into like some Star Wars timeline stuff here. But yeah, so the next part of this video will be doing a Bigfoot Bill review. I'll try to make it more coherent. Overall, though, I will tell you that I liked this one better. I felt like it was an improvement, and I'll get into that, into why I feel that way in the Bigfoot Bill video. So keep an eye out for that. Thanks for watching. Poor doggy. You have no genitals. No genitals.
Oh man. Oh God. Oh man.